Hi, I'm Samantha Anderson, Director of Communications for Newton Public Schools, and I'm here with Dr. Deb Hamm, the superintendent, and we're here to give you another potential bond update. First of all, Dr. Hamm, we'll kind of go in the order of the way they discussed it and the way they went. So the first discussion was about the Newton High School and the changes there. Can you just kind of give me an update on what they decided?
Well, there really weren't a lot of changes as far as the high school is concerned. They're going to move ahead with the CVT recommendation around remodeling the interior of the high school, the original footprint of the high school. So all of the areas that are 1973 will get renovated and remodeled. Then they also did go ahead and accept the recommendation for a new science wing. And so that will be built, and students will then be able to be moved from other classroom space into that classroom space, which will free up interior part of the school to be able to be remodeled, because again, this is going to be happening at the same time that school is in session. So it is important to have a space where we can place students. Then the other one was at the gym. The gym addition will provide a regulation sized gym. We only have one. Most schools our size have two. Our regulation size gym is used a lot every day. So sometimes there are scheduling conflicts and inability for teachers to be able to use that space for physical education in a way that is best for students. So really looking at providing some additional classroom space for our physical education teachers and students. We have more students now that participate in physical education probably than we have had when the school was built. And of course, more sports going on because we have, again, a change with Title IX that came in after that. So a lot of things have impacted how we have used our space in the past and what our needs are today. It will also be the tornado shelter for the school. Currently, there is not a tornado shelter, and we will be looking at building that as the tornado shelter, and it will be up to current FEMA codes. So we're excited to be able to provide that safety space for our students because they don't currently have it. So.
And it's a pretty efficient way to build a tornado shelter, is that right?
Yes, because it's just building a box. You're just building a great big box. It's not like a classroom where you have a lot of other things that you have to put into it. Maybe you have different windows, and you have to make sure that you have shutters for the windows and more doors and all of those kinds of things. So it cuts down on some costs associated with building a storm shelter.
The second point of discussion was the overcrowding at Santa Fe. Middle school overcrowding was a big priority that the CVT identified, and very closely they decided not to spend money building at Santa Fe. It was just 2% off of the total we needed. So the board, with their knowledge and their kind of future facing, perspective, they decided that they would make this new elementary school south of town a K through 6. But then the question came up, what if the second question of the bond doesn't pass? We need something, to relieve that overcrowding. So they kind of put a plan B in place in the first question. Can you just explain what that was and how that'll work?
Well, roughly the estimate to build new space at Santa Fe for 4 classrooms would be $1.6 million. So what they did was they took the $1.6 million off of the second question and included it in the first question, which includes building an addition for Santa Fe. Right now, it looks like that will appear somewhere in the green space that is currently the empty space between Lindley Hall and the main building. And so if the second question passes, which is the new school, then the $1.6 million would just be put towards the new school. So the same space would be built in the new school that was being set aside, if you will, for Santa Fe.
Okay. And then from there, they kind of finished up the discussion of the new school, and they decided how many classes per grade levels, or we call it sections, there will be. So can you just tell me what they decided?
Yes, they did decide to move forward with a 3-section K-6 building. So students from kindergarten through 6th grade would attend there. That alleviates the overcrowding issue at Santa Fe, and actually provides for some additional classroom space, so some room for growth. It also expands on our current 2-section school at Walton, and would provide 3 sections there in the area of town that is seeing the most development at this point. So moving forward, they would match the other schools, because all of the other elementary schools in town have the capacity to be a 3-section school. They would remain 3 sections of K-4, and this would be the only school then that at this time it would be a K-6 building.
Okay. And then we went on to safety and security at Santa Fe and Chisholm, and we just go over, the changes there and how they'll be used in the school.
Well, and basically safety and security in all the schools will follow a similar pattern, in that we looked at storm shelter safety and security cameras and controlled access to the building, so that people have to be admitted to the school. They can't just walk in to the front office. So all of the schools would have the same thing. So that would be true at Santa Fe and at Chisholm. At Chisholm, in order to deal with the overcrowding issue there also, new storm shelter space would be built, and that space would be built as classroom space, and that would allow for 4 additional classrooms, and would help us in being able to provide additional classroom space for additional teachers, and help us to be able to reduce the class size in the building.
Okay. And then safety and security at the elementary schools are very similar. Is that
Correct, right? Correct. Looking at controlled access in all of our buildings, improved security cameras and setups, both exterior and interior. And
then with deferred maintenance, we were actually able to save a little bit of money. Can you explain how that happened?
Right. The way that it was originally presented was that our construction firm and our architectural firm would be working on the design work, and would actually do the whole process for us. We have determined that we could save about $1.5 million if we did a lot of that work ourselves. So we are going to be writing the specs and the bids, and putting that out for bid, and then our staff will manage that part of the projects.
And that, I think we kind of touched on all the different aspects of the potential bond. But one question that has come up, I've heard it, people have asked me, is, what will we do with Walton in the meantime to make sure it's, safe for the students and until this new school could open?
Right. Well, we will continue to monitor the situation there, and have plans to make some improvements to the grading, so that we can eliminate some of the water pooling that we have. Also, we will be using capital outlay funds for redoing the modular classroom space. So basically they'll strip it out and re-side it, re-drywall it, all of those things over the summer, so that it's a cleaner, safer space for kids come August.